because the researchers within the context of the work we have at hand, they are not the ones going to the field to elicit information, to collect data from the target population, the respondents. I think that is the reason why they have brought some of us here to be trained as field enumerators. And for us coming here to be trained as field enumerators, I think the essence is for all of us to, be on the same page with the researchers, so that the interpretation given to the items in the questionnaire can be clearly understood by those of us who are going to the field to administer the questionnaire. I think I overheard some of you in the conversation just a few minutes ago when we were talking about a particular item in the questionnaire, maybe where you expect farmers to speak to the varieties of the rice they cultivate, maybe rice cultivar in their area. After they have listed maybe the different farrow 40-something farrow, whatever, then I heard somebody saying others. I think the idea of using others, within the context of the work at hand will not be advisable. We should try as much as possible to ensure that the responses we get from our farmers or our respondents are exhaustive. We must exhaust all options, because if we are bringing in others, who is now going to fill in the gap? I think we have to do a little more to ensure that we are able to capture all the possible options within the item that we are presenting to the farmers to respond to. So that is about that. That is not what I am here to speak to. I think I'm here to speak to the social science aspect of research, because the field work you are going out to do, you are not going out to carry out investigation on animals, neither are you going out there to investigate parameters on plants. You are going out there to interrogate human beings. And for us to be able to do that optimally, we need to understand some things about our own character as enumerators, things that will make our respondents to develop interest in the process of the process of trying to administer our questionnaire to them, and things that can make them to lose interest in the process. First, we must understand that before we take our questionnaire to the field to administer, we must do what we call ethical clearance. We must obtain ethical clearance. I wouldn't know if at this stage we have done that, for us to be sure that we already have clearance to proceed to the field to go out to do this work. As we all know, questionnaire administration can be carried out in two ways. You have what we call researcher-administered questionnaire. Then you have a self-administered questionnaire. The researcher-administered questionnaire or facilitated questionnaire are those ones that are developed by the researcher themselves, and they also take the research instruments, and in this context we're talking about the questionnaire, to the field to administer either by face-to-face or through phone call. You can administer a questionnaire through phone call. For example, if you are unable to you don't have access to your respondent, you can place a call to your respondents and get all those information you want to get from your respondent. The other way to go about it is to do the face-to-face, which is interpersonal questionnaire administration, which you have to present yourself physically to your respondent. But in this case, we are using a facilitated questionnaire administration where whereby you have to engage the services of enumerators, or is it that the researchers are the ones going to field themselves?
No, we have field assistants.
Okay, the field assistants, we call them enumerators in research, and they are the enumerators. So the enumerators are expectedly, they have to be trained, like what I met doing when I came. I noticed that they were being taken through the content of the questionnaire and things that you need to note in the questionnaire. So that's having said that, you now have to proceed to the field to administer your questionnaire, and there is what we call community entry. You need to understand that you cannot just jump into. Okay, before I say that, I think before we go to the full-blown questionnaire administration on the field, we first need to carry out what we call pre-test. We do a pre-test for our questionnaire, or we do pilot testing, depending on the size of the population that is in focus. I don't know how large the population of this study is. If it's a very large population, then you do what we call pilot testing. And for pilot testing, you take your questionnaire to the same study area where you intend to administer your questionnaire. You just try to carve out a small, a sizable number of the respondents from the total population, administer the questionnaire so that you test the questionnaire for validity and reliability, so that you can be pretty sure that all those things that you want the questionnaire to achieve, they are able to achieve it. So I don't know whether you have done the pilot testing or you have done the okay, so that is very, very important, because that will give you an idea of what is going to happen by the time you eventually go out to do the large-scale questionnaire administration. So when you come back, of course, you analyze. Sometimes people use BGMC, and the alpha value you get will help to determine, how reliable that is. Then you must have done the phase and content validity of the questionnaire. All these are not part of what I've been invited to. So when you get to your study area, that is the community. What is the first thing we are expected to do as enumerators? What are we supposed to do first? For example, I am an enumerator or a researcher. I've been asked to come and administer questionnaire in this department. What am I supposed to do first?
Do the HOD first.
Because in the rural community where you are going, you have HOD. They have a traditional. They have the. But when you are trying to identify the community leaders, you have leaders. You have them in different categories. One, you have the traditional leader. You can have the religious leader. You can have the youth leader. You can have who again? Several of them. You get, but sometimes the person that gives the legitimacy, who gives the approval, the person that legitimizes your activities in the community, of course we want to expect that it's the traditional leader, which of course, but sometimes it may not necessarily be that. You may need to identify who the opinion leader is, because most of these traditional leaders, sometimes they listen more even to the other opinion leaders within the community for the actions, before they take the actions they take. So if you are able to identify other opinion leaders apart from the traditional leader in the community, I think it will be good that you do that. So, but conventionally, what we expect you to do is to go to if they have palace, you walk straight to the palace, and even before then, ideally you are supposed to write to the traditional leader that you will be coming to show that You don't go on that very day that you want to administer the questionnaire, because they need to get their people ready for this assignment. It's not on the day you want to administer the questionnaire that you go. You have to go, much earlier before the day you want to carry out the exercise. Like you can give them like a week. You visit the traditional head, then make your you want.
Yes, I want to say something. Yes. Yeah. Now, I think that institution whereby for each local government or for different areas that we intend to go, we already have a coordinator.
Yeah.
They have already reached out to the farmers that some people are coming to come and administer questionnaire.
Yes.
Do we still need to go through the route of maybe probably meeting the traditional ruler, or because for each areas that we intend to go, we already have a coordinator that has already informed the farmers that are basically farmers, processors, and marketers, which we intend to use as a respondent.
Yeah, we are coming.
So they already aware that they are coming. So
Yes.
the question is, do we still need to go through the route of maybe probably still missing their traditional?
Yes, it's very important. At least to pay homage to tradition, because you have not been there before.
Yes,
You'll be expecting that you will come, and that's the only person that can provide a cover for you, security and other things. He will not pretend that after all, somebody just told me that some people are coming, but eventually when they came, nobody told me anything. I think it's important that you secure the approval of the traditional ruler, even though they already have the arrangement. When you get there, the first thing you do is to pay homage to the traditional ruler, and let them know that you are there, so that they can legitimize your actions, they can bless the activities and approve whatever it is that you want to carry out in the community. Usually, it's not the community leader that will take. Usually, they will appoint somebody, maybe a young person, who will be taking you, who will be what do you call this? Or maybe the anchor person for the community, who will be taking you around, because you don't know that terrain. So I think that question you asked is very, very important. And when you get there, like we have said, even though your coordinator had already informed them that you were coming, you still need to declare your intention to them. That yes,
This is the purpose.
you said?
I said the purpose.
Yes, your intention, why you are here, what you are here for, the intention and everything. And we need to also be sure that we dress in a way that is acceptable to the people of the community. Because you cannot dress like a cowboy to a rural community where such mode of dressing is not acceptable. I think it's important that we get to understand the lifestyle of the people, and we try to key into it. We call it well, I've forgotten, but that's just the something. So you just need to be able to do that and try to declare your intention to them and let them know why you are there. You need to have done some underground investigation to know a little about the norms and culture of the people, of the community, the do's and the don'ts, like somebody just said. So, and you must be able to operate within the confines of their do's and their don'ts. And so, having said that, when you are within the community on this assignment, there are some things that you must avoid. You must not discuss politics. You must not discuss politics. You must not discuss issues relating to security matters, because these are issues that can trigger, reactions that to mar your activities in the rural community. You must focus strictly on what you have gone there to do, and try to avoid anything that will make them to begin to believe that you have a biased mind for or against certain people within the community. And this time around, that we know security is a challenge almost everywhere in the country now. No community is spared. We need to be very, very careful. We must make sure we use our tag. We must have a means of identification. And most importantly, I want to advise that if it is possible that you work as a team. I don't know how you want to be visiting the farmers. Is it on the farm or at home?
No,
on the farm. So automatically the farmers, when they are rice farmers, automatically when you go to their farm, you are likely going to meet more than one farmer. So you don't have to go alone. So you can work, group yourself into teams. And I believe even as you work as a team, you are supposed to have a supervisor who superintend over the activities of the other enumerators. And that person has to be more knowledgeable in the technology that you are deploying to harvest the data you want to harvest from your respondent. Because from time to time people can run into problems. So you need to revert back to your supervisor, and you must always be at hand to attend to whatever it is that is is giving you problem live on the field. So another thing is that the content of the questionnaire, the items, the parameters you have in your questionnaire, you must be able to, interpret it, in a way that people will be able to know what exactly you are interrogating them for. And for that, you must be ready, because you are going to quarrel nuts. Because when you are talking rice, I know quarrel nuts is noted for that. I don't know what other areas you want to cover. Maybe Ekiti or where?
Ekiti is also part of it.
Ekiti is also
But
you just discover, even when you get to some of these places, Ekiti, Moro, and the people you find there, you find that they are outside people or they are local people. So what that one is pointing to is that you need an interpreter. You will always need an interpreter, because you need to consider the literacy level of these people. You cannot rely on your power of English language. You want to expect that you'll be able to. Yeah.
You have one.
You have one.
But part of those coordinators was saying the other time, some of them are just no pay.
Yes, you also have some no pay.
Okay. So and most times you find that these no pay people, they speak outside. So and that area, I think you are covered. But essentially, what you just need to observe is to your ability to be able to respect things that they value as a community, and you don't have any other business in those areas other than for you to go in there, do your work, and get out as soon as you are done with your work. So I think more or less these are some of the things that we just need to be conscious of when we are on the field for the field work. We talk about the norms and values of the people. When we enter the community, there is a procedure. You must enter the community through the community leader. You are doing that not for any reason, because you need to get the legitimization, you need to get the endorsement, you need to get the blessing, you need to get the approval of the local leader. And you must walk through the different interest groups within the community. The rice farmers you are going out there to interrogate, you may not necessarily be talking to rice farmers alone. You have this rice production value chain.
Yes.
So I want to believe that you want to cover all the actors across the value chain. So within that context, you will be looking at the farmers themselves, you will be looking at the aggregators, you will be looking at the traders. You understand? You have the aggregators. Huh?
Yes.
Then you have who again? The processors. Yes, the processors. And yes, you dealing with the processors. Inquire not. I think they are mostly women. For rice, they are mostly women, and even though you have rice mills, even you may need to interrogate the rice millers.
Yes.
Because they are also active. The rice millers and
They are part of the
processors.
well, they are part of the processors, but you know the rice millers, they have their rice mill.
Yes.
The processors, some of them, they just bring their paddy rice
For them to.
There are stages of process.
for milling, and they do other like boiling and
Boiling.
other things. They don't do it
Yes, most of them
at the what do you call it? At
The milling
milling
plants.
So I don't know where you want to categorize the millers.
Yes, all that processor.
So rice millers,
Because they also
the women processors, the traders, the aggregators. You know the aggregators, they are the ones that move from farm to farm to aggregate at the farm gate. They buy at the farm gate and they take it to their warehouse to store. And you know they do that so as to help to delay the sale of the produce until the price peaks in the market. So they don't do more than that. Their own is just to aggregate I think these are just some of the so these are some of the, but the question that we pass for the question that will pass for an aggregator did not pass for a farmer.
Yes.
The one that will pass for processor, I don't know whether you are able to disaggregate.
Yes.
Okay. So you are able to disaggregate your questionnaire
Yes,
into
based on
different categories based on the activities each one of them carry out. So I think essentially these are some of the things that we have to, because I am not in a position to speak to the content of the questionnaire. The experts is there, and the technology being deployed, the expert is also there too. But the aspect that I think has to do with human behavior, and we must understand that even when after a respondent has given his approval to be interviewed, he has the right to disengage from the process of the interview at any stage. I hope you have that also in your arrangement, that respondent can decide to disengage at any point, anytime he feels that he can no longer continue. Yes. So, but let us not be a contributory factor to things that will make a respondent to cut off from providing information to us as emulators. I think yes. So it's supposed to be an interactive session because
So sir, just to educate us more, from your experience, sir, what are those likely things that can make them not to say you want to continue?
Yes. For example, when you are trying to intrude into their private life, there are some questions that naturally people will not respond to. You get it now? For example,
Age.
Yeah, the age, some people will you will first of all have in a way that you make, it depends on how you present the question. You understand? If, for example, you are interviewing a Yoruba man, you understand? There is a way you present yourself that somebody will not get offended. But there is a way you ask questions that you trigger the anger And
Already in the body.
the body. I don't even know that. Then when you are trying to ask, for example, you are trying to ask questions from women, maybe you want to ask questions on the household size. And let us understand there is a difference between household size and family size. Are you getting the point? Because most people make the point. In fact, the PhD student in my department was making presentation yesterday, and I got a figure. He quoted a figure, for the study area where the research was conducted. He gave the average household size figure as five person. As the average household size in the study area where they studied, to challenge that. Right? The people you interrogated, they are cassava farmers, and by nature, farmers. And I tried to look at the average age of these farmers. I found that the average age was 14.9 years. So meaning that they are not too young, they are not too old. So they are just in between, but you cannot call them, youth. They are not young people because they are above 35. So I tried to match the two. I said, no, this cannot be. Then I look at the literacy level. I noticed that the literacy level was very, very low. Then you are quoting the average household size to be 5 persons. I said, that cannot be. Even NBC, National Board of Statistics, National Bureau of Statistics, the average household size quoted in their document, in their report, is 7 persons in Nigeria. That's the average household size in Nigeria, 7. Usually, are not in that. So how can you tell me, particularly in the UI, it can't be that? Because when you are talking about household size, you are referring not only to the family members, you are referring to all individuals, in the house who are living under the same roof, eating from the same pot, they are living under the care of one particular person who they all see as the head. Are you getting the point? So, and as a farmer, in addition to the fact that you are married, you have your wife, you have your children. How many farmers you have 3 children? No, even if you don't have wives, will farmer have 3 children?
No.
Conventionally,
No.
You don't expect that.
No.
Farmers will have like 5, 6. We are not interviewing lecturers who most times maybe 2 children, 3 children. They are afraid because of the 8-month salary that was retained. So, then in addition to that, you have Ahmed, Mama, Group,
Yes.
who will be living with them. And when they have those people coming to live with them, it's not as if they bring them in to help them. They are accepting them to live with them. They also use them. So they provide, farm labor, which is cheap family labor on the farm. So automatically you can have to send you have to go and look at that, and this one is not something that can be accepted. So we need to understand that. I don't know whether you are looking at variables like parameters like that, like maybe household size and all of that, because you don't have household size.
No, we don't consider that.
Okay, because household size, a lot of things can make farmers to take or to accept an innovation, and so some variables can make a farmers not to accept, an innovation or a technology. Because the essence of all of this is to maybe you want to provide an intervention at the end of the day after you have been able to, identify where they have their challenges and where they have their strengths, and where you can create opportunities for them. So things like household size, I think, is very, very important. When you have large family, you want to quickly embrace innovation, new ways of doing things, because you want to increase your productivity, because you have so many people to cater for, and it is only when you are able to when you have increased productivity that you will be able to maybe increase your income, where your ability to increase your income will determine the kind of life you live in terms of maybe your well-being and other things like that. If it is not an important parameter, you will leave it out. But if it is not too late, but I think things like, even though I think I've seen the questionnaire before, so I should be liable for that. The things like ASO size, I think it's important. Age, experience, all those parameters.
Experience captured, age captured.
Age captured, experience captured.
I guess the only thing that is not captured is the household.
ASO size. Then their educational level.
Yes.
Yeah, all those things they are very, very important. I don't know if it is possible for us to accommodate the household size.
The household.
Yes, household size.
Okay, household
If
size.
it is possible, household size. And I think we all understand the definition we have given
Yes.
for the household size. When we want to know what like if you come to my house now, you want to know what the household size is, I'll be telling you about myself, my wife, my children, and other people that are living with me inside under the same roof. Even if they are living within the compound, maybe I have a what's it called?
Boys quarter.
But they are coming to pick. I'm the one feeding them.
Yeah.
They are still under my
Yeah.
So yes, so because I have to account for all of them. So and I think it's very, very important. But all these things are interrelated. Household size can make people to, adopt an innovation, and it can make people to reject. For example, people who are single, you don't have any responsibility. So whatever it is that you are making presently, you can be comfortable with it. But for people who have responsibility, they have family members, they have other extended family members who are living on them. You want to always improve on, your business. And now agriculture is a business. So you want to improve on your business, and whatever innovation you can buy into for you to be able to improve on your business, you will not hesitate to do so. Because it is only when you do that you'll be able to increase productivity, and that you'll be able to improve your income and your well-being. So these are some of the interrelated issues that we must take into account when we are deciding the parameters, the variables that we bring to focus in our questionnaire. So I think, please, maybe when you ask questions, I'll be able to provide more information. But basically, these are some of the things that.
Thank you very much. Please, let's appreciate our. I believe you are giving the very useful, also useful information concerning this our proposed exercise. We try as much as possible to see whichever one we have not incorporated and whichever one we need to improve on. So, Prof, thank you very much for taking your time to come and educate us more. Because I believe it's your feet. That's why I think we need to invite you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for the privilege.
Yes. Please come around. Let's take a photograph together.
Yes, sir.
Never seen that.